My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. And today is Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. We all understand the importance of turkeys on Thanksgiving, but we're not going to talk about that today. Today, believe it or not, I really want to talk about two storks, and their names are Klepetan and Melena. Klepetan and Melena are Croatia's most famous romantic couple, and their relationship is or has been highly documented, and it's a driving force in the tourism business in Croatia. And this is due to people being incredibly inspired by their sacrifice, resilience, perseverance, and most of all, of course, their unconditional love. But before we get started, I have to do a disclaimer. And I remember hearing this on a made-for-TV movie a long time ago called Brian's Song, and it's appropriate here. All stories that are true end in death, and this is a true story. So with that, let's go with the story of Klepetan and Melena. I'm going to read most of this through because I want to get it right. The title of this is Stork Flies Thousands of Miles Every Year Just to See His Injured Soulmate. And in 19 years, he's never missed a visit. If you don't believe true love exists, the endearing story of these two storks may just change your mind. At the end of every August, Klepetan, a male stork, migrates to South Africa, leaving behind his female partner, Melena, and their humble abode, which is a cozy nest located on a red rooftop of a house. Melena remains alone in the small Croatian village without Klepetan's company throughout the fall and winter months. But come March, for the past 19 years, like clockwork, Klepetan returns from the warm south to once again be reunited with Melena. Ever since her wings were injured by a hunter more than 2 decades ago, Melena has been unable to fly alongside her partner, let alone join him on his annual 8,000-mile journey. But that has not stopped Klepetan from putting in all the extra work. While storks don't necessarily mate for life, they do tend to return to the same nest and mating partner, which may explain Klepetan's unwavering loyalty. This year, Klepetan surprised everyone, including Stepan Vokic, who's been caring for the stork since they first met on the rooftop of his home. Klepetan returned an entire week earlier than expected. When asked if the bird was truly Klepetan, Vokic confirmed by noting the bird sought out a bucket of fish that Vokic prepares for him upon his return from the south each year, according to Total Croatia News. The two have had raised over 60 storks over the years and are typically inseparable during their time spent together each year. The pair is so famous in Croatia that there's even an animated video about their incredible story. It's incredibly heartwarming to know that there's a star-crossed couple out there that puts Romeo and Juliet to shame, and with a much happier ending. And that was before the end of the story, and we will get to that in just a second. But before we do that, I want to show you a video. Hopefully they won't stop me from playing this, but we're gonna try this. All right, so the story is that the female got shot and she can't really fly. And so because of that, the male flies back all the way from South Africa every year which according to this is about 8,000 miles. I don't know if that's true. That sounds like an awful long distance. But he does it every single year to go and mate with her and then help raise more storks. Now, from what I've read, because I'm not an expert on it, but storks, they mature very quickly. So within 2 months, they're able to fly. And so eventually, when they do fly south for the winter, the baby storks fly with the father. And they take all that time to fly back to South Africa, which of course the female cannot do that because of her broken wing. And she can't even hunt for fish or anything like this. So this guy, Stepan, who's been taking care of her for over 20 years, goes and fishes for her and gives her food. And this has been the story for all these years. And as you can see in the videos there's cameras all over Croatia trying to document this. So as promised, I want to finish the rest of this story here. And it will be right here. So this is up to date. The title of this is Melena Passed Away. Croatia mourns end of Klepetan and Melena Stork love story. July 7th, 2021. Croatia is sad to learn the passing of beloved Melena, thus ending the heartwarming love story of the most famous storks in Croatia, Klepetan and Melena. 19 years of stork romance between Melena and Klepetan in the Slovenian village of Brodski Varos has sadly come to a tragic end. Melena passed away after failing to eat for 11 days. I tried to feed her, but it didn't work, said Stepan, a former janitor who found Melena 28 years ago. The year was 1993, and Melena was injured. Her wing had been shot, so Vokic rescued her, and the two spent time together, awaiting the arrival of spring. As Melena couldn't travel due to her injured wing, she could only rely on Vokic to help her through the tough winter months, and she kept him company. In 2002, another very important man, well actually a male stork named Klepetan, showed up in her life, and the couple gave life to 66 small storks. Their love was challenged with Klepetan doing what storks do, fleeing to South Africa every autumn. However, Melena waited for him, and he couldn't forget her either, and their occasional long-distance romance indeed grew into true love and not just a summer fling. I noticed she wasn't well on June 9th. It was just when the heat wave started. She wanted to go after Klepetan, but she could not. She fell down, and I brought her inside. She didn't want to eat, nor did she want to drink any water. It was as if she wanted to end her life because falling down is a humiliation for storks. I'd say, Vokic said, adding that she passed away peacefully, closing her eyes while on the lap of one of Vokic's friends and dying. The romance of Klepetan and Melena was followed globally, and many Croatians mourned when the news broke out. Naturally, nobody took it harder than Klepetan. He comes by every evening, and I tell him she's gone now. I buried her in her favorite place, where she always waited for him. He added that he would wait for Klepetan and welcome him to his place if he decides to return next year. The 19-year romance of Klepetan and Melena couldn't have gone unnoticed for us here at Total Croatian News. Klepetan returned every year, and in 2019, many feared that the love story had concluded with his death. 4 of the storks came and began making some very sad noises. I knew then that Klepetan had gone, he had died. You know how they say that birds die singing, Vokic said in 2019. However, it was fortunately a false alarm as Klepetan returned in 2020. At least Melena's love story, while challenging, was much happier than the famous literary tragedy, as she was happily in love, and the 66 kids of Melena and Klepetan raised the stork count in Croatia, adding to Croatia's bird population and general biodiversity. Storks are beloved guests in Croatia. And that's the end of the story. I hope you found that valuable today. My name is Joe Peroni, and this is the Rise Above Project. If you would like to subscribe, that would be nice, and please tell a friend. Thank you.